Canfor is celebrating 75 years in operation today. As part of those celebrations, a reception is taking place in the city. The softwood giant's history in the province and region is colourful.
Canfor's local history started with an invite by Harold Moffat, who was at the time pursuing economic development opportunities for the community. At the time, Canfor was concentrating its pulp mill sites on Grand Prairie, but the logistics simply didn't pan out.
A pulp mill in Grand Prairie would be solely dependent on the North American market, which we had no penetration in. So the idea of building in Prince George, where we could have access to the coast and still be competitive in the global market, made sense.
Canfor is celebrating 75 years in operation today, and with it, the roots in this community.
My dad actually, he's worked for the pulp mills for 37 years. I was born and raised obviously in Prince George, so it's kind of an interesting thing to to work alongside with my dad. We've actually worked in the same office as well, so Canfor has obviously been a big part of my life, and now I'm lucky enough to have an opportunity to develop a career.
Jen Rosnell says with a company like Canfor, the opportunities are unparalleled.
The company's large, right? I mean, with 3 pulp mills in Prince George, there's lots of different chances for, especially starting so young with the company, different career paths, and I've already had a lot of opportunities to try some different positions.
But while Canfor's presence well and truly began in Prince George in the 1960s, its history prior to that has international implications.
By 1939, with the outbreak of war, the British Air Ministry approached us and asked us if we could build aircraft plywood for the Mosquito bomber and the Avro Anson trainers. And every one of those that ever flew came from Pacific Veneer in New Westminster.
Peter Bentley says at the time the company promised to employ 25 people. By 1940 there were 1,000 employees and, quote, since then the company never looked back, unquote. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.